Listen, as long as Nicole is safe, that's all that matters to me. If she ends up being evicted and sent to the jury house, then I'm pretty much focusing 100% on gameplay, and that's about it. But then again, I've been doing that ever since Kimmy left, so there's that. I didn't care if Kat or Cliff was on the block so long as Nicole wasn't on the block. So Nicole's decision was hard because both Kat and Cliff were her friends. Nicole has a big heart. Nicole seems like a great person. The problem with the game of Big Brother is you have to put that heart to the side, and you have to think strategically, and you have to ally with people that you don't like, and you have to deal with stuff that you don't want to deal with and you wouldn't normally deal with outside of the game. I don't envy Nicole for having to make that decision. It had to be a hard decision because she was close to both, but here's the thing. If either of them had to make a decision as to whether or not they were going to vote her out the house, you can bet your bottom dollar if someone they really liked was up against Nicole, both Cliff and Kat would vote them out without a second thought. But that's the way that you play Big Brother. It is what it is, and there's nothing more for me to say. For those of you who don't know, I'm Sage Valentine, and what's up, YouTube? Now, let's get down to this recap and review of episode 23 of CBS's Big Brother Season 21. Alrighty, guys, so pretty much Tommy became the HOH. He nominated Cliff and Kat. Christy lost the field trip, America's field trip, and she ended up an automatic nominee, and as luck would have it, Tommy won the veto. He won the OTEV veto, and he saved Christy, so then it went back to being down between Kat or Cliff heading to the jury house. I'm still kind of shocked that Tommy won that veto, though. So pretty much it's day 55. Tommy is just like, he is now left with Kat or Cliff. And even though Kat is his target, he's going to keep who is best for his game. Now, Cliff has to make sure that Kat goes home and not him. Kat is more nervous than ever, yeah, because she realized that she's in danger because more people like Cliff over her. And then maybe she's also thinking of the decisions that she made in this game. I guess the decision to play all sides of the house. I've said this before in previous reviews and in other seasons, but being that player who plays all sides of the house, eventually it comes to bite you in the butt. There's a certain way to do it. There's a certain way to maneuver it, and I have yet to see a player really utilize that strategy well. I'm sure somebody in the near future will change my mind and will surprise me. Nicole says she has to choose between Cliff and Kat. Alrighty, so Cliff and Kat sit down, they have a conversation, and Cliff is like, he's fine, regardless of how it goes. Honestly, on a side note, I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. Maybe it's because I've become numb to this whole shiny, happy people love fest that's going on in this season, where I feel like these people use the word love and I love you and love throughout this entire season as some sort of psychological way to psych people out or something. There's just something really weird about that. I've never seen so many people in one season say, I love you, love you, love you. You guys are not family, so why are you saying I love you? Especially the ones who don't mind getting rid of people for personal reasons and say a lot of nasty things behind their backs. There's something iffy about that. And Cliff says that he cannot throw Kat under the bus. It's funny how Big Brother included that in the edit for episode 23 because Cliff did just that. Kat goes to Jackson and she says, I'm paranoid. She basically wakes him up in the middle of the night. And Jackson's kind of like, you know, Cliff is a bit of a bigger threat. In other words, trying to tell her, try not to worry too much. Maybe people will see him as a bigger threat. Kat's like, I have Jackson's vote. Holly's vote, and Jess's vote, but I need a fourth vote. So she goes looking for a fourth vote. Now, Tommy thinks that both Cliff and Kat are threats, and they are. But in my opinion, Cliff is a bigger threat than Kat. A much bigger threat. Not only because he is the eldest and he's made it this far, but also because he's in good with everybody. People really don't have anything bad to say about Cliff. Well, they might once they go home and watch the episodes and see the things that he said and see the clips online and see what he said about them. But even then, they may forgive him and still not see anything bad when it comes to Cliff. Nick decides to build a new group to take out Jackson and Holly. And he does this so, as he said in the episode, he can smooth sail to the end. Nick is another dangerous player in this game who should be nominated this week. But spoiler alert, he's not. And I feel like people are making a big mistake leaving Nick in this game because he is a lone wolf. And lone wolves, as we have seen in this world today, lone wolves are very dangerous. Hell, in wolf packs, they're extremely dangerous. So Christy would be happy to work with Cliff, obviously. Christy seems to be happy with everything as long as she's not on the block or America doesn't hate her or she is not in danger of going home. And I say that with sarcasm. She feels like Cliff is a man of his word, to an extent. But keep in mind the things that he did to Kat this week. That should show them how he's playing this game, but they can't see that, of course. These recruits can't see much of anything. So, Nick says that he can trust Cliff, obviously because he and Cliff are birds of a feather and they flock together. Everything Kat said in her interview, or not her interview, in fact, that was her interview. What am I talking about? No, it wasn't her interview, my bad. In her speech about Cliff and Nick kind of gravitating to whomever is in power, is correct. Birds of a feather flock together. Nick thinks that Kat, Holly, and Jackson are working together. They are. So he decides to come up with a new 6 to take out Jackson and Holly. That 6 includes Cliff, Nicole, Nick, Tommy, Christy, and Annalise, aka Sis. Now, Cliff is just like, he's saying this to us. If Kat leaves, and Jessica and Nicole are the only allies that I have. It's funny how he adds Jessica, but in that 6, Jessica was not included in that 6 at all. So he's considering the idea of joining this 6 alliance. Now, Nick tells Annalise and Christy that Cliff would love to work with them. I mean, what do you want me to say about that other than the fact that it is what it is? Christy talks about not going to the final 6 with couples. It's funny how she keeps complaining about couples, but she and Tommy are thick as thieves, besties, childhood friends. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's funny Big Brother has yet to out them. They really should. So if they're watching this, if anybody from Big Brother is watching this, it's time to out Tommy and Christy because they think they have it like that. And that's not how it should go within the game of Big Brother. But I digress, and I'm getting back to these notes. So Nicole is the swing vote, obviously, because part of the house is voting for Kat to leave. Part of the house wants to vote for Cliff to leave, so she's essentially the swing vote. And Nicole is stressed about that. She'll determine who goes home. She cannot trust Nick, and I'm like, of course not, because the dude is a snake and a lone wolf. And honestly, he hasn't been very trustworthy since he entered the house. I keep thinking back to his first interview with Jeff, and I'm just like, everything he said he was going to do, he has done the opposite. So Kat was right when she said that a lot of times these players do what they essentially said they were not going to do when they're in the house. So Nick is like, he can't work with Kat as long as Kat is working with Holly and Jackson. So now I see another reason why Kat was the likely choice to be voted out of the house, why she was the target, and why all these people turned on her. So Holly wants Kat to stay because she trusts her, but Holly also wants to keep herself safe, and she decides and tells Jackson this as well, that like, if Kat is going to stay in this game, she's going to have to campaign by herself. We cannot campaign with her or for her. Now Kat campaigns to Nicole and tells Nicole she'll have her back. Nicole says to Kat that she feels bad she has to pick between Kat and Cliff, and she doesn't know what she's going to do. So then Nicole and Cliff later on have a conversation, and Nicole says she's stressed out, and then Cliff tells her about that alliance, the whole 6 alliance deal. And once they reach the 6 alliance and they get out everybody, or should I say once they reach the final 6 and they get out everybody, then it's every man and woman for themselves, obviously, but then it's been like that since day one. Nicole says to us she feels bad for Jessica because Jessica is being left out of the conversation. And as I watched that, I thought about all those times where Jessica kept trying to throw Nicole's name out there and drag Nicole under the bus. Oh, I hope Nicole is okay once she finds that out. And the idea of Jessica being out of the loop does not sit well with Nicole. So Nicole decides to talk to Jessica because she doesn't trust most of the people in the 6, and she's right not to trust them. But she also shouldn't trust Jessica. Nicole tells Jessica about the 6, the whole alliance thing, and the deal with Cliff. And Nicole tells Jessica she trusts her. And she tells Jessica that the 6, or the other 5, want Kat, Jackson, Holly, and you, Jessica, out of the house. Now, Jess is upset because she feels left out. She can't understand why she's left out. The reason Jessica is left out is the same reason why Kimmy, Ovi, and David are out of the house, and the reason why Bella is also out of the house. I shouldn't have to tell you, considering how racist this season was. The fact that there is an alliance like this and Jessica's not a part of it, I don't even know why she would think she was going to be a part of it. I don't even know why she didn't even pay attention to the fact that the 3 members of Camp Comeback were all minorities. I don't get it. I don't even get why she didn't see that there was something wrong with... In fact, you know what? She actually did, but she separated herself away from that, I guess, because she was close to Christy. But I'm just like... Now you're the last minority in the house. This is how this is going to go, Jessica. So, Jessica tells Nicole that she loves her. Well, Jessica decides to spill the tea on the 6 alliance info to Kat. But she puts it all on Cliff, saying that Cliff was making deals for a final 6, and she said all the names, but she still tried to put it on Cliff, or at least that's how the edit made it seem. Now, Kat said that she wanted to blow up his spot. She wanted to blow up Cliff's angels, and at first Jess was like, no, we can't do that, but then Jess is like, okay, maybe we can do that. Kat is upset that Cliff went behind her back and made deals. This is Big Brother, Kat. This is Big Brother. This is what people do. If you are a true super fan of Big Brother, you come to expect that people are going to do whatever the hell they need to do to get to that $500,000. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, Kat talks to Cliff. She says she's disappointed in him, and Cliff apologizes, and he's like, he had to do what he had to do. He's on the block next to her. And Kat knows that this plan for the 6 and everything benefits only... See, now Kat understands how other people felt when they were left out of the loop. Now Kat understands that she was never really a part of the six. And now she understands that the whole kind-hearted father figure thing that Cliff has been doing has been a part of his gameplay. He's doing what he can to make it to the end. Am I mad at him about that? No, because I figured he was going to do this anyway from day one. Again, it's a game. You gotta do what you gotta do. And Kat is very emotional, and she really should have left her emotions at the door. But then again, when I found out she slept with Jackson so early in the game, that's when I knew what type of player that, or house guest, Kat was going to be. I don't need to explain anymore. So Jess tells Holly about the Six Alliance. Holly guesses all the names that are in said alliance, and she guesses correct. Holly then decides to tell Jackson, but Holly doubts the information, and she and Jackson agree that they both have to make sure that Nicole votes to keep Kat. You know, the funny thing about the votes is that regardless of who Nicole voted for, it didn't matter. Kat was going either way. It was funny seeing the six sitting in a room talking, and Nicole was kind of telling us in her diary room session that she doesn't know who she was going to vote for, and I didn't blame her. It was kind of a hard choice, but both Cliff and Kat, it was time for one of them to go, and I kind of wish that it was Cliff, but I respect Nicole's decision to get rid of Kat, because Kat was playing all different sides of the house, and she does have a trio. So we got down to the live vote and eviction, and it was speech time. So Kat basically said in her speech that Cliff fought his way back, and she listed how he did it. She said that it's amazing how he has such a great social game to put him in the position he is in the game, blah, blah, blah. Then she proceeds to throw both Nick and Cliff under the bus, basically saying that they will be in whomever wins the HOH's faces come this weekend, trying their best to influence decisions. So she outed those two about that to everybody. So, in fact, I'm going to change what I just said. So she basically shined a light on those two even more. Like, people were already skeptical about Nick and Cliff. Now it's even worse. So Cliff, in his speech, said that he's not Kat's father, and he apologizes to Kat, but the damage is done. There was nothing for him to do because he really hurt Kat. She really took it personally. So we got down to the actual vote, and it came down to 6-2 because Nick, Christy, Annalise, Nicole, Holly, and Jackson all voted to evict Kat, whereas Jessica was the only one who voted to evict Cliff. And Kat realized that something was up. She was done with these folks. She hugged Jess and only Jess goodbye. Am I mad that she did that? No. It was better than like walking over the table like Cody did and just leaving. Even though I understand the anger and the sentiment, the funny part was seeing him walk over that table and not even talk to anybody. Or I think he actually kissed Jessica before he left, and then he just kind of left. So we got the Kat's interview with Julie Chen. And Kat said that she knew she was doomed. She had nothing to lose, which is why she went to Cliff and aired her grievances, so to speak. Jessica is her bestie. Kat was really worried about how she was portrayed on TV. Wait till she sees those tapes. Kat said she was going to evict Jackson as soon as she had the chance. Let me know what you think about that. Kat revealed that being in the Big Brother house means that everything you think you're going to do going in, you end up not doing. She said that Jackson messed up her game. He sure did. But she messed it up, I think, too, by even, like, having sex with Jackson. Because it seemed like Jackson kind of, you know, went after her because of that, in my opinion. He treated her like crap because of that. Yeah. And the way Jackson messed up her game also was that he was trying to use Kat as a pawn until he couldn't use Kat as a pawn, and then he was going to get her out of the house, but Kat said that she was going to try to do that to him. And she wanted Holly to be her final due, and it surprised her that Holly unapologetically had Jackson's back. Yeah, because they're bedfellows. But the sad thing about Holly is that I get the feeling, and I could be wrong, and I'll admit if I'm wrong or not. I get the feeling that eventually Jackson's going to cut Holly off, and if it comes down to it, he's going to end up voting her out. Kat said that she wouldn't have accepted the deal that Cliff accepted. Let me know what you guys think about that, because again, this is a game. You got to do what you got to do. But I guess Kat is trying to play with integrity, and it's rare that you find a person trying to play Big Brother and still keep their integrity and are able to keep their integrity. Good luck to that. And Kat appreciated that Jessica was a friend to her, as far as she knew, because Julie Chen wouldn't tell her anything because she's going to jury, so she can't. And then we were able to see part of the HOH competition, which was called Oktoberfest. So pretty much while you guys were watching this live, I was in the city. I was seeing a play called Betrayal, which was an excellent play. But if you thought that Big Brother wasn't on my mind, it was, because I wanted to know who was getting voted out. And I made sure to tape the WLNY 55 version, because on the East Coast, I think it was football or something, so we didn't get to see Big Brother live. We would have to watch it like on, not on CBS, we'd have to watch it on WLNY. But I taped that episode from WLNY, and I taped the 2 a.m. episode. Brain fart. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Leave me some comments and let me know what you thought of episode 23. Hopefully this is episode 23. I think it is. Hopefully I got the numbers right. If not, I apologize. Anyway, I will be back on Sunday to review another episode, episode 24. I will be back on next Wednesday to do my review on time. Thursday to do my review on time. And I will be live on TV Co at 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So get your questions together, get your topics together, because I always come with 10 topics I want to talk about. But if you guys want to veer away from that, let me know. Download that app and join the conversation. Join my Big Brother chat. I love you all. Take care. Shout out to all my subscribers, old and new. You guys are all amazing, and I look forward to doing these reviews because of you. Because if it wasn't for you, I probably would have given up on this season a long time ago. But anyway, you all take care. Love you guys. Bye, guys. Love you all. Bye.